Whoever looked at your life and thought there has to be more? Welcome to the Corporate Escapists podcast, where stories change lives. This is a space for bold women rewriting the rules, building businesses with soul, and choosing legacy over likes. If you're ready to be seen, heard, and valued, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Corporate Escapists TV show and podcast. I am your host, Christine Inez. I am so delighted to have both Lace and Sutton joining me. Welcome, ladies, to the show. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited because I've got to know you a little bit because you're just in a brand new issue of Inspire magazine, and what powerhouses are you both? Like, honestly, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you both. So if you want to just come on, introduce yourself, and let's just have some beautiful conversation.
Hello, Christine. Thank you so much for having us here today on the Corporate Escapist podcast. Really delighted to be here with you today. Well, it's morning for me, early morning. My name is Sutton. I'm a homeschool mom of four, veteran of the United States Air Force, leadership strategist, and founder of The Flavor Room, the only invite-only curated ecosystem for diverse leaders and entrepreneurs of color.
And I'm Lace Flowers. I'm also a homeschool mum, but not of four. I have a few less, and I'm the co-founder of the Flavor Room, and I'm also a culinary wellness architect. So I take care of entrepreneurs and small teams when it comes to their nutrition and avoiding burnout.
I love it. I love what you guys have created because I think so many times I love, like, there's a Brene Brown quote. Basically, sometimes you have to walk through the wilderness alone to be able to find your tribe. But I think what you guys have created is literally a place for people to feel connected, a place for people to feel like they have a home. And I think it's so needed in this world because we feel so lonely, and life, being a mom, like, look, let's just be honest, like, just life in general is hard enough. And if you don't have support around you, it's very lonely. So what you have, created is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And I think one of the many things that makes what Lace and I have built together unique is that it came from lived experience. This was not something that we were like, oh, let's come together and make a quick buck and throw something out there. This came from lived experience and essentially a desire to right the wrongs that we had experienced coming up in the online business industry.
Yeah, absolutely. This was something that comes from the heart. I mean, essentially, this idea of the flavor room before it had the name was in Sutton's brain for 3 years, just marinating, like a good curry. And then she came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this idea. Do you know anyone who would, be interested in collaborating?" I was like, "Possibly, but I need to know more." And when she told me the concept, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna put my hand up for this one because I feel this." And I just really felt what she was saying from her experience, and having had my own experience of that undertone of racism in the online space, particularly in the spiritual wellness kind of space, because that's where I was working at the time as a tech concierge. I was like, this is something I have wanted to tackle for so long. And it's something I've wanted to talk about. But when I have talked about it, I've been, told to shush, brush it under the carpet. We don't talk about stuff like that. So when this opportunity was presented, I was like, yeah, I'm here for it.
I think it's so needed. I literally just did a video this morning talking about legacy pieces, and I really truly believe what you guys have created is a legacy. This is not only what you're going to be known for, but this is a piece that can be handed down to generations and really keep the conversation happening as well. And I think we just need to have more conversations. We need to have open conversations without feeling we're offending somebody. But if you're feeling it, it needs to be said. We need to talk about it.
Absolutely, Christina. It needs to be said, conversations need to be had. And what we've done is go beyond conversation into action and solutions, which is why we co-authored and independently published a research paper, Is It Legit? Redefining leadership, equity, and influence in the online business space, and went beyond that to create our own certification program, Legit Certification for Impact-Driven Businesses, which addresses these issues head on, not in a fluffy, performative way, but with action and implementation for businesses and organizations who give a damn about these issues.
Mm. It's super powerful. Like honestly, I think I have a phrase that I use, and it's called marshmallow conversations. That sickly sweet, conversations that you can only have so much of it. And where we need to start having really in-depth conversations. We need to be able to be lit up, inspired, but let's tackle what's ahead of us as well. And I think leadership, especially women in leadership, we need to start taking a stance on so many different issues as well, because we're brushed off like thinking, oh, you're not too, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. um you know uh like people go, oh, you're a woman, like, just go home, just do that. And I got that in my corporate career so much, going, just go home and do it. Whereas you had a voice, but we felt like, well, I felt like back then I couldn't actually share it, whereas now we have this immense power that when we bring it all together and women combine, it actually amplifies so much more. I'm going to hand it over to one of you ladies to talk about amplifying the voice.
Oh, I thought you were frozen, Lace. Oh, you're on mute.
No, I'm not frozen. I was saying go ahead, Sutton, because I could feel you what's happened to say, so I was gonna let you just take the floor
I
there.
did. I was going to wait for you, but no, when it comes to amplifying, honestly, I'm just going to keep it real with you, Christine. I have not had the best experience with that. And I think for my personal experience, when people see me, there are certain prejudgments that come to their mind. So that amplification with unity with women, I have found that to be very performative and empty. That is one of the reasons why we came together for the flavor room, to go beyond just, yeah, I want to lead. And then people kind of using that to say, let me bring more attention to my content or to my offers. So that's what it's been. And this is a great segue for both Lace and I to mention something, is that we've had a lot of kickback behind the scenes from people who were shouting from the mountaintops about women and empowerment and rah, rah, let's all come together. But when we approach them behind the scenes saying, we would love to, partner with you, collaborate with you, because we really believe what you are doing would be amplified with collaboration with the flavor room. Then it was, whoa, nope, can't do that. You guys are, speaking too much truth. You're saying things that don't really go with my brand. It makes me a professional liability. So that has been my experience, professionally when it comes to that. I found it for me better to just go it alone, if you will, and just put it out there until Lace and I came together.
And that's pretty much how it's been. We have just gone, do you know what? We're just going to do it anyway, despite the judgment, despite the nasty words, the comments, all the things that we've had that we really weren't necessarily expecting. But we've just gone ahead and gone, nobody's going to stop us. The only people that can stop us from building what we're building and that can stop the flavor room is Sutton and I. And we ain't stopping.
Yeah, I love it so much. I think there's a couple of things that have like just popped into my mind. Is when people talk about, oh, you've been judged, you've been criticized and all that, and I go, oh my God, you're so strong. I'm over that word, because yes, yes, we're strong, we're resilient. I've been through multiple things in my life and experienced not some like a lot of hardships in that as well. Bullying in school, and then I'm about to hit 50 next year, and people are going, oh, why don't you just settle down and just get ready for retirement? Like, why are you trying to build a business now? And the thing is that it's not the resilience, it's this inner voice that keeps coming out. And I think there's so many women that, and if I talk, spiritually, but it's like we're awakened. It's like that voice is just too strong within us. It's not us being strong, it's the voice that is so strong within us that now we need to actually say something.
Yeah, and I think that it takes time to really lean in and listen to that voice.
Mm.
And so for some people, it's earlier on than others. Some are fortunate to have, parents or certain influences in their life that, can encourage that on at an earlier age. But for most of us who have been plugged into the system, who have gone through schooling, gone through higher education, corporate, so on and so forth, that is silenced because society at large says this is your path. Clock in, clock out, get a good job. Maybe you'll retire at what's the age now?
Yeah,
70, whatever.
yeah,
If you live that long, and if not, well, then tough. And that's life,
yeah.
right? But I think more people now, women and men, are waking up to that burning, that calling, that voice that has been suppressed through, intentionally through society to keep us all in line.
Mm. Yeah, I love that so much. What's your take on that, Lace? Like, because I know, like, obviously you come together, but also too, I know as two individual women, like, obviously we still have our own voice, we still have our own take on it and our own experiences as well.
Well, for me, I think I I had that calling really early. I knew from when I was very young that I didn't want to do what the Sutton has just described. I was like, that doesn't even sound like a life worth living. But obviously, you get, like you said, those influences, those people in your life that are telling you, no, go to college. I went to college. I enjoyed that. Oh, go to university because everybody else is. So I went twice, left twice. And I actually only ever had two jobs in the so-called corporate world. And the last one was when I was 20, I packed it in working as an administrator for Mercedes-Benz. And I just found my own way from there. And I think what I really learned is by trying to fit myself into these boxes of what you're supposed to do, I ended up miserable, depressed, lost. And I only really found myself when I was like, do you know what? I'm going to stop listening to everybody else and what they think I should be doing with my life and just do life. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I've never looked back.
Oh, I love it so much. I think, the conversations that you ladies are having and the impact that you're going to have is incredible. And I just want to celebrate both of you for doing that. I know it takes a lot of courage to do this and to step out from it. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I'd love to get your take on leadership. It's actually one of my words for this year because I truly believe that leadership starts with self. And I'd love to know what you truly believe with leadership.
What we believe in leadership as far as defining it.
More in like, for me, I think like leadership is you take the action. If you want something in life, it comes back to self. And I think a lot of women at the moment are going, oh, but I need to do this and I need somebody to help me with that. But a lot of the times we actually have the answers within. And, what are some of the self leadership beliefs that you have that has allowed you now to step fully into, the brilliance that both of you have?
I've had the advantage of being forced into leadership very on. I joined the United States Air Force when I was 22 and found myself responsible for things that people my age could only dream of or have nightmares about. And when I left the military and then started my business, it gave me a new perspective on how I could apply those certain things that I had experienced and had witnessed into business. And so when it comes to leadership, one of the things is definitely leading yourself first, but being selfless at the same time. There is a balance that needs to be had with that, because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm a leader. I have to be loud, obnoxious, and, just say random things. That's not leadership. You have to be able to stand on whatever those convictions are all the way through, even if they are uncomfortable or if no one stands with you. But leading oneself and knowing that there's people watching you. So having that consistency throughout word and deed, I think those are definitive things when it comes to leadership.
Oh, I just got goosebumps when you said that because honestly, I think there's so much in there. I'd love to know what your take is, Lace, as well.
Absolutely. I didn't have the wonderful experiences that Sutton had at such a young age. It's only just come to me very recently to sort of notice that I've been self-led my whole life and I've just never looked at it like that. By always just going with what I want to do from even when I was a child, defying my mother and saying, oh, okay, well, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Kids, if you're listening, I'm not saying don't listen to your mum, yeah? I'm just telling my story. And then, growing up and deciding I'm not going to go down a traditional route after trying it, and then deciding, do you know what, I'm going to go leave my birth country and live somewhere else. And these are all parts of leadership as well, leading yourself through whatever it is that you're going through and going with it, even when the rest of the world is telling you this is stupid, like you're crazy, how could you think to do X, Y, and Z? And you're like, I'm just going to do it anyway. And that's what I've been doing my entire life without even necessarily realizing. So, and I've always followed that my inner compass, my intuition, even when it seemed absolutely insane. And that's always worked for me. So I think being a leader, if you can get in touch with your intuition and go ahead and follow it, even when everyone around you, like Sutton said, is telling you, okay, no, this is not the thing, but it is. That's, walking that path alone. That's leadership.
Mm, I love that so much. I think, we need role models more so now. We're consumed by social media, and I think we're starting to see behind the filters and the realness of humans is starting to come out into this world. So, everything that you're speaking, everything that you're doing, and I'm such a big believer also too, is that and I thought you're talking about you're talking about it before, but it's really the action. And I think there's not a lot of people taking actions. And one of the things I've just recently learned is that we can take actions, but when it's the aligned action, that's when it actually makes the biggest impact. So I would love to know, what is one aligned action that both of you are taking to fulfill your massive goals that you have as well with the flavor room.
Our formula for success, Christine, is very simple, and we just move. I mean, I don't have anything magical or really profound to say other than that. When we get an idea, we move with it. When we, think we need to be doing X, Y, and Z, we just do it. We don't faff about. We don't, read the tea leaves and go meditate on a mountain, for 12 weeks. We just get it done. And whatever happens from that, we go with it. Now, that does not mean we are not strategic and we are just, slapping spaghetti on the walls. Quite the opposite. But we are not wasting time thinking about doing something. And from my experience working with private clients for a number of years, that is one of the biggest things that holds female entrepreneurs back, is the waiting for external validation, waiting for the right time, waiting for the kids to get older, waiting for someone to understand and waiting for mom and dad to believe in them and all this kind of stuff. Just go do it. Just go do it. It's not going to be perfect, but just do it. Give it a try. You're not going to know until you put it out there.
And you can always tweak along the way and meander and pivot when you need to. I really have nothing to add because when you asked that question, that's what I was thinking. We just move. We know what we need to do and we go get it done. And that's that. And we don't really care who's like, yeah, well, we don't think that's a good idea. We don't care. We know in ourselves what we need to do and we out there doing it.
I love that so much because I'm very quick at making decisions. And I think, because if I don't make the decision now, somebody else is going to anyway. So therefore, if an idea comes to you, I truly believe that you're given a gift of seeing that idea or that vision, like whichever way that it comes to you. But if you don't take that action right now, somebody else is going to get that gift and they're going to take the action before you. So it's going to disappear from it. I would love to ask you both, like one of the things that we're talking a lot around, building a business. If you could say something to the listeners right now that are sitting there, they're in business or they're thinking of starting it, what is something that you would have loved to have heard yourself that you can then inspire other people?
I like that question, Christine, because there are a number of things I wish I could have told myself back then. I think knowing what I know now in retrospect, the one thing I would share with listeners who may be in a similar position as I was back then or anything like that, it would be to don't be so quick to outsource your power to other people. Um, whether that be through the new fancy, amazing coaching program, some online course, whatever it is, you have the answers. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't seek out help, but a lot of female entrepreneurs are expecting someone else to have all the answers, expecting that coach, expecting that consultant, expecting that guru to just show them the way. You know the way, you know your vision, you know the goals that you have, act on that and figure things out as you go. If you need help along the way, sure, that's fine. But expecting that the sky is going to open up and everything you dream of is just going to rain down by hiring someone, that's not the answer. So that would be the biggest thing that I would share. And something else I would share, Christina, because I wanted to mention this earlier. I want to circle back to leadership. There is a huge vacuum for leadership right now. Because as you mentioned, people are jaded with the filters, with the perfection, and with all of the hypocrisy we see over and over again by people who we are told who are leaders who somehow get into power. This is your time. Everyone listening, this is your time. It is not good enough to just hang about in the shadows and, cheerleading on something and riding the fence with certain things. Stand up for whatever it is you believe in. Get out there and lead. You want to stand out in 2026 and beyond, it's going to be leadership, real leadership, where you are rolling up your sleeves and showing people the way, as I said, through not only your word, but through your actions.
I don't think there's much more I need to say. You heard what Sutton said. But what I was going to say when you originally asked the question was pretty much going to come off what Sutton just said, which is trust yourself. Trust yourself. Like Sutton said, you have the answers. You already know them. You know what you want to do. Go and do it. Stop sharing your dreams and your visions with small-minded people because that is the fastest way to kill a dream. Go out there, do what you came to do, get it done, pivot when you need to.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm such a big believer that if you want to create impact, find your seat at the right table. And if the table's not right, get up and move. We all have to take that such responsibility for it as well. Ladies, I really admire you, and I'm not just saying that from a soft way, I think what you're doing and what you're bringing to this landscape is so needed. We have a little bit of fun with our listeners and getting to know you. And so I would love to ask you a question is, do you have a favorite motivational quote?
I'm just going to stick to the one that I use wherever we go, Christine. It's from my late father. If the phone rings, answer it.
I think I just shared it in the last question you asked, which was stop telling small-minded people your visions and dreams because that's the quickest way to kill them. And that I believe was Steve Harvey, one of my favorite comedians.
Oh, he's amazing. Absolutely. The next question I would love to know is there a book that you highly suggest everyone to read or something that you're consuming right now?
You're on mute.
I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I'm like, I had to get rid of so many of my books, and I've read so many of them over the years. Um, oh, and I always forget the names of them. So no, go Sutton, let me think.
I can't pick just one. I read multiple books at a time. So, let me pick one. It's not business related. Does it have to be business related? Because none of the ones I'm reading are business related. I find business books very boring. I
No,
finished school and I don't
it,
want this.
whatever whatever it is, I think it's great for everyone to have a little bit of a mix from it as well.
So one of the books I am reading, as I said, there's several, is by Frantz Fanon. It's White Masks, Black Faces. So that's a really good one. If anyone can get their hands on it. It's hard to find.
I wonder why. And you've just made me think of a book that I would love everyone to read, which is called Caffeine Blues by Stephen Chininsky. I'll just leave it there that you really need to read that book before you consume your next cup of coffee.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So I've got two more questions. First one is, who is an inspirational person that I should be following?
Are you gonna go? No, I'll go. I don't really follow anybody, Christine. I do what I need to do and I keep my head down. So I don't really have any people that I would recommend following.
This might sound really like cheesy, but I'd say follow Sutton.
Oh no, I love that. I love that so much. And we're always interested to know is from our guests is who should we also have on the podcast? If there's somebody that we should be inviting that you recommend.
Wow. Whoever it is, it will be someone in the flavor room, right, Lace?
Yeah, I think so. Oof, flavor and people. Abdullahi Hassan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He has an incredible story. He's a flavor member. And what can I say? His story is amazing. From where he came from to where he is now, what he's doing with his fashion brand is just mind-blowing stuff.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I'd love to connect with them because I think this is the power of, once one person shares their story, it gives courage and inspiration for other people to start sharing their story as well and to really stand in their own power. And I think, if anyone can take anything away from today, is really standing in your own power. These two incredible women are doing that and really creating an impact around the world. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here, sharing your story with us and really like inspiring me to continue to share my voice as well.
Thank you very much, Christine.
Yeah, thank you for having us. This was amazing and we appreciate the opportunity.
My absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to pop all the details for everyone who is listening here, how you can reach out to both Sutton and Lace. You'll be able to read that article inside the current issue of Inspire magazine and how you can reach out to them as well. Make sure you hit the links below. Make sure you like and subscribe, all of this. And I just want to inspire you with something today, and just to remember to live life to the fullest every single day. Love and light to you all.